What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua did an all-exclusive interview about everything that was going on, considering Ortiz, Dillian White, Barry and Eddie Hearn, Jarrell Miller. He went in depth on a lot of this stuff, and this is going to be chopped up in a couple videos because I don't want to keep you guys, and plus I gotta start my training. So Anthony Joshua stated that Jarrell Miller, he would have fought Jarrell Miller on Peds. And the funny thing about it, when that news initially broke, I did a video about Anthony Joshua actually wanting to fight Jarrell Miller. That's what I wanted. I wanted him to fight him anyway. I think that would have been like some ballsy shit. Like, hey, I'll fight him anyway. And it really, if you think about it, it's a win-win situation. If he gets out there and he loses to Jarrell Miller, we already know what his body is affected by. But if he gets out there and he beats Jarrell Miller, first of all, that'll do two things. One, it'll prove that he's a badass and he didn't care, and he can beat a guy and show that cheaters never win anyway. Two, it will really desensitize, or what's the word? Take the strength away from steroids and performance-enhancing drugs, Peds. Because using Peds, people don't understand, using performance-enhancing drugs does not mean you're going to win a fight. So it takes the power away from people that think that, hey, I need to take this, because most of the time it's a mental thing anyway, why people feel that they have to take steroids or performance-enhancing drugs to do a certain thing. Some of them it helps, some of them it don't do shit. Especially in the fight game, you still got to go out there and you have to train, you have to have focus, you have to have confidence. And a lot of times people take performance-enhancing drugs because they don't have either. But a lot of times they do. They just think they need this particular thing in order to perform a certain way. So basically, that's still a mental thing at the end of the day. Now, you might go in there juiced up thinking, okay, hey, I've taken this, that, and this, and I've taken it undetected, like some memo heredia shit, right? But at the end of the day, you still have to perform. That's not an automatic thing, and Joshua saying that, it just proves like what I was wanting, what he wanted. He said I would have fought him if he didn't have, if he was on it. I would have fought him anyway. It really didn't matter at the end of the day. And he said that possibly he'll fight Jarrell Miller. He'll fight him in the future. So that's a good sign that, that could be good for Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller, really doesn't, he got a slap on the wrist. He got a slap on the wrist. He wasn't suspended of anything. He just can't get licensed because his license were suspended anyway. So yeah, he got off. Another thing I want to mention that Anthony Joshua pretty much standardized. He said, well, hey, each thing that you do has to have a set consequence. Like, okay, you can't do something in the sport of boxing and then you don't know until you do it, and then they make a decision and then you get this penalty or whatever. It should already be set in stone like a law. That's what he was saying. That, hey, if I get caught with performance-enhancing drugs, boom, I'm banned for 3 years and $500,000. Fine. That type of shit. So you already know what's at stake before you do it. And that's what he was saying in this video. And I agree with him. I mean, if it was set, if it was a standard on what happens to athletes when they decide to cheat, and he used himself as an example when he was caught with some pot, a lot of pot, right? So he knows a lot of things that he didn't do because he already knew what the consequences were before doing them. That's why he didn't do them. So if that happened with fighters, this would be a whole different sport, the sport would look a whole lot different. And you wouldn't have all this shit. You wouldn't have 6 months and a slap on the wrist and no fine. Like Miller or Canelo and, others that did go through this. You know what I mean? You'd have to do something specific for it to get really severe. Like Jose Resto, or no, Luis Resto, Antonio Margarito. You know what I'm saying? And I think he got off lenient, honestly. But karma's a bitch because he got his eye broke by Manny Pacquiao, like the next fight after he got his ass knocked out by Sugar Shane Mosley. So, yeah, because the way he did Cotto was a damn shame. However, that's cheating in the sport of boxing. That's a whole different category. This is performance enhancing drugs. So, yeah, I think that Miller got off easy. He should just, stay training naturally, stay clean, and he should be fine. But Anthony Joshua wanting to fight Jarrell Miller because, again, that just also shows Anthony Joshua was pissed off. He wanted to punish Jarrell Miller for the things that he said. He talked a lot of shit, and he really did a lot of below the belt kind of talk that you were like, damn, dude, you don't really supposed to go there, but he went there. You know what I mean? He wanted that mental edge. But like I said to other people, and like I said in other videos, Jarrell Miller probably saved himself from an ass whooping of a lifetime. So, but that's basically what I'm going to talk about and conclude in this particular segment, because there's a lot of things that he mentioned that I'm just going to do in another video. But you guys tell me, would it be cool for Anthony Joshua to still fight Jarrell Miller if he had those Peds? Would you have liked that fight? Would it be cool? Would it have been fair? You guys tell me below. Please subscribe. You guys been Counterpunch. Peace.